Hey guys, this is Troy,
And Alex.
and we are Two Dudes in Football. So we're back from our winter break, and we have Wild Card Weekend to talk about and the coaching carousel to talk about. So I think the first coach we should talk about is the guy who was so bad that people chanted at his son's football game to get him fired, Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy is historically, or record-wise, has a better record than Kyle Shanahan.
Still?
I don't know why people hate him. I'm just joking. Matt Nagy's horrible.
I mean, dude, his quarterback won the MVP last year. Nickelodeon
true.
Valuable Player.
Mike McCarthy's did this year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no.
He getting fired. We'll talk about that in a bit because that was bad.
Yeah.
Ryan Pace and Nagy getting fired. I mean, I think it's just weird that you draft a quarterback and then immediately fire the coach and GM. It just doesn't make any sense to me because what's the point in drafting a quarterback for that group if you're not going to do it?
That's fair. I think it's definitely not the wrong choice.
No, it's not.
It's
I mean,
definitely
Ryan
right
Pace
choice.
moved up
They should have done it last offseason.
True. I mean, dude, Ryan Pace traded, a first and a second to move up one spot to draft Mitch Trubisky. I think that alone says how great Jim is.
He traded up a first. He traded his first, the 20th pick from last year's draft, and their pick from this year's draft to get Justin Fields.
And he probably would have
from
been
the
there.
Giants.
And he probably would have been there anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, and for that value, you could have gotten someone, almost as good. It's just, I don't know. And then the Vikings, they also cleaned house. They fired their GM and Zimmer, which, I mean, it's sad to say, but Mike Zimmer is probably the best coach they've ever had since Bud Grant. But, I mean, aside from that, he needed to go.
Yeah. They had a good team. I always thought that the Vikings had a good team.
I mean, they always lost games by 3 points or one touchdown.
They lose bad games. They stay close with good teams.
Well, unless Sean Mannion's starting.
Oh my God, why did he not start Kellen Mond?
I don't know. I all I know is I think they said they wanted to be fully have it be a developmental year and don't want him doing anything. But it's just I don't know. I mean, their GM is going to be known for giving Kirk Cousins an $80 million guaranteed contract for some unknown reason. But, I mean, it is what it is. They suck. Lol. And then, okay, another coach that got fired. Who was the coach's name that got fired on one of those bad teams? Oh, yeah, so the Dolphins.
David.
That was the one that shocked everybody. Dude,
Yeah.
Brian Flores getting fired, I understand why they fired him because the reports were that it was a power struggle, and I think what the struggle is Flores doesn't want Tua as the starter.
He wants Deshaun Watson.
But the GM and the owner know that they are required to start Tua since they tanked for Tua. And I think that's why he got fired. I think that he shouldn't have gotten fired, but at the same time, he should have because that's what the team wanted. And you know what? I think it's funny that the Dolphins still suck. I think it's funny that they fired their coach, not their GM. So, yeah, I love it.
I would have just, if I was them, I would have just traded for Deshaun Watson, because clearly that's what he wanted. He was a good coach. He will be a good coach somewhere else.
He's I think the only guy that got fired this year that will have a head coaching job next year.
Hopefully with the Giants.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Joe Judge got fired, which should have gotten fired on Black Monday, not 3 days later.
Yeah.
But at least they got rid of the coach that isn't good. Another example of a Belichick disciple that is garbage.
He was a Belichick and a Nick Saban.
That's even worse.
Bad.
I mean, last I checked, Bill O'Brien was a Nick Saban disciple.
That's
I'm pretty sure.
Also true.
Speaking of Bill O'Brien, I honestly think this firing was worse than the Flores overall. I think the David Culley firing made 0 sense.
I didn't understand it either. I understand you're a bad team.
But just remember this. Deshaun Watson led the league in passing yards last year, and they had 4 wins.
Yeah.
They don't have Deshaun, and they still get 4 wins. They now, literally, at this point, all the leverage is in the Texans because they have a franchise quarterback now in Davis Mills.
Yeah.
No joke, he was the second best, or best depending on how you view Jones, rookie quarterback this entire year. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was awful till the last week. Zach Wilson literally was a joke. Trey Lance barely played. Justin Fields was garbage, so Davis Mills was the only truly good one. I mean, Mac Jones could win games by throwing the ball 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, David Culley's hiring made no sense, and his firing made no sense. So, I guess take it at that.
Yeah. So.
I mean, and then the Raiders, they fired Mike Mayock right after the playoff game.
Smart.
Yeah, I mean, they just drafted whoever they wanted, and it's just I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. I think that was probably the smart choice.
I'm shocked they still haven't given Bisaccia the head coaching job, because if he doesn't become the actual head coach, he's gonna get a head coaching job.
Oh yeah, no, I think so too.
I mean, he coached like half a year, and he's like one of the favorites to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah. I think that he did a really good job. That Raiders team was very messed up.
Which was the worst? Damon Arnett threatening to kill someone with a gun, Henry Ruggs actually killing someone, anything John Gruden did? Like, I mean...
It's got to be Henry Ruggs. That's pretty bad.
I mean, the fact that team even made the playoffs and then nearly won the game is astounding.
Right.
And then I don't think there were any other coaches that were really fired that I can think of, because... And if I'm forgetting any, it's probably because no one cares. I mean, we can quickly just say Pete Carroll arguably should have been fired. Matt Rule definitely should have been fired. I'm shocked he still has a head coaching job with Panthers. But I guess David Tepper really doesn't care about winning. He just cares about the bottom line. Which, yeah, I mean, hate to see it. But, I mean, is what it is. So, in terms of the playoff games, the first one is the one that is going to be remembered as if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, there is an asterisk. They should not have had that touchdown.
The Joe Burrow?
The one where he was running out of bounds and then he threw the ball, that's not a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
The whistle?
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, as soon as a whistle is blown by an official, the play is immediately dead. Remember the Miles Jack wasn't down? That's that play. Miles Jack wasn't down, but they called the whistle, so they could not review it. They did that in this game, but they gave the Bengals a touchdown. So, you don't know, one of the refs blew a whistle because he thought Burrow went out of bounds when he threw the ball. And then the Raiders stopped playing like you're supposed to. And then, I think it wasn't Chase, but like Tyler Boyd caught the touchdown, and they gave it to him even though the whistle was blown during the play, which should have been a replay of downs, not a touchdown. So the Bengals got 4 to 7, pending if you think they'll make the field goal, free points on a dead play.
Yeah. I think every good playoff team comes with some luck. I mean, the greatest player of all time has gotten luck in every single playoff series he's ever been in.
Franco Harris catching that ball.
Tuck rule,
Tuck rule.
It's just it comes with luck. But I think this was probably the most predictable game.
I don't think so. I think the Buccaneers is more predictable. That one was a shoo-in.
I heard more people say the Eagles than Buccaneers for that game.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that is people wanted the Bucs to lose.
Told me they were, especially at my job, they were like, "Nah, I got the Eagles."
I got the Eagles.
I was like, "Yeah, you're dumb."
Hey, you know what? On my picks, I think on my picks I actually went 6-0 on all these picks.
I did too.
Yeah, I went 6-0 and I feel great about it. And I mean. It's because the one, for those of you who don't know, every game the home team won except one, which is the one that's the funniest, which I think we should talk about last because it's funny. But yeah, so the Raiders, I mean, Derek Carr played a decent game, but overall the Bengals won. Zach Taylor is probably going to win Coach of the Year, if not Mike Vrabel, if not Rick Bisaccia. Yeah, the Bengals won. Debatable if they deserve to win because of that, but yeah. A team that did deserve to win, the Bills. First perfect offense in NFL history.
Yeah. I mean, this game, it's really ridiculous that they did that.
7 drives, you scored touchdowns, and the only ones you don't score a touchdown, you kneeled to end like a half or a game. That's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All the Mac Jones haters were proven right that he is indeed not that good. He is a system quarterback. Because as soon as he had to do something, he threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And I know one of them was like a great play by the defense, but like shouldn't have let the defender get it. So yeah, I mean the Bills, they pwned them. When a score's differential is 30 and you can say the score makes it seem closer than it was, you know one team got pwned.
Yeah.
Buccaneers, Eagles. I mean, I thought this was the most predictable. The Bucks beating the Eagles.
I did too. 31-15 does not tell a story of the game at all.
Jalen
The Eagles got 15 in the fourth quarter. It was 31-0 in the second or the third quarter. So 31-15 is way too close than the game actually was. Brady, I guess, is a playoff player, as some would say.
Yeah, for the first time in like 3 years, he had a good playoff game. 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 29 for 37, 0 picks. Solid game. Mike Evans. He proved that. I mean, he is the best receiver on that team. He had 117 yards and 9 receptions and a touchdown.
Currently, the only receiver on that team.
Hey, they got Gronk.
Hey, that's true.
Jalen Hurts. Oof.
Jalen Hurts is not a franchise quarterback. He never has been. He's not good at passing.
As I've said before, the Eagles have a franchise quarterback on their roster, and they're not starting him.
Joe Flacco's elite.
Jalen Reagor. Oh my God, wasn't his name trending? But they spelled it wrong. I think I remember his name was trending, but it was Jae instead of EA, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Oh my God, he played so bad. I mean, he might legitimately be the worst player on that team in the league.
Nick Sirianni is a good coach. I think he proved that this year.
Oh, yeah. No one thought the Eagles were making the playoffs. I mean, for how much we talk about no one thought the Bengals would make the playoffs, no one thought the Eagles were going to win that Carson Wentz trade.
No. But I think the Eagles will be in the market for a better quarterback. I don't know if it'll happen this offseason.
All I know is the Eagles. People like to think about what team has the best time. What team has the best ability to get a quarterback? I think the Eagles do because they have trade value for 2 quarterbacks that they can get substantial value for both Hurts and Minshew if they want to, and then they could just trade for somebody else. They basically have leverage to get whoever they want.
Yeah.
And then just a reminder. Jalen Reagor, when he was picked, the Vikings laughed at it and then proceeded to pick Justin Jefferson. In that same draft, Laviska Shenault Jr. went later. Michael Pittman Jr. went later. And those are just 3 receivers that went after Jalen Reagor, who was a first-round pick.
Was he 18?
Yeah. He was pretty high. He was, pretty bad. Pretty bad selection.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
Pretty bad. The Steelers, pretty bad.
Big Ben farewell tour has officially come to an end.
He better not come back this year. He better
won't.
not. Though I will say, if somehow he becomes the Browns starting quarterback, I would love life again. That would be so funny.
That'd be very funny. I don't see it happening.
I don't, but I really hope it would happen. Because, I mean, he technically isn't retired as of 3 days after the playoff game. Yeah. I mean, Mahomes played an awesome game. I mean, he had 1 pick, but he played awesome except for when TJ Watt, was TJ Watt and got that fumble touchdown, which was literally one of the 3 scores the Steelers had. I mean, Casey, they did what they were supposed to do.
They didn't score a point in the first quarter, and they ended the game with 42.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They put up 21 in 6 minutes.
Yeah, dude, Tyreek Hill didn't even do that much. He only had 57 yards.
They had McKinnon. I don't even know who that is, and he was just
He had 140 combined yards.
It was ridiculous. Every time he got the ball, he did something.
Unlike Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, no, Jalen Reagor drops the ball.
And then the Monday night, which, by the way, no way there should be a playoff game on Monday night. That makes no sense. I think that's really stupid because you give those teams a disadvantage, and then it's just why don't you just have a triple header on Saturday and Sunday like last year? But I digress. The Cardinals-Rams, for how much crap we gave Jalen Hurts, he still played significantly better than whatever the hell Kyler Murray did on Monday night.
Kyler Murray was awful.
He was getting sacked, and then he, tossed the ball. He didn't throw it away. He tossed it right to the Rams.
There was a point in the game in the third quarter. It was beginning of the third quarter. Odell had more passing yards than him.
Dude, I saw when they put that stat up. Dude, they did him so dirty. And then, dude, the worst part is Stafford only threw the ball 17 times and had 202 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It was bad. Cam Akers came back 6 months after tearing his Achilles.
That's incredible.
That's
For how
very
incredible
impressive.
we're talking about Derrick Henry coming back, dude. Akers, a torn Achilles. You guys remember Kevin Durant? He was out for like a year and a half.
He was out for a really long time.
And Akers just said, "Nah, I'm back, and I'll literally carry the ball 17 times for 55 yards."
He had like 95 yards combined, I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, because he had one 40-yard reception, which was from, I think,
I
Odell.
think that was the Odell one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, OBJ had a good game. Cooper Cup, in a Cooper Cup standard, had a terrible game,
Yeah.
and he had 60 yards. That's how good he's been all year. Yeah, I mean, the Rams, wow, they just pulling the guard. And for the last game to talk about the Nickelodeon 49ers versus Cowboys, I am so happy the Niners won.
I am too.
That was my only upset. I thought the Niners would prevail. I thought they were a better team. I thought they had a quarterback that is better in the playoffs than Dak Prescott because, I mean, let's be honest. Almost any quarterback in the league is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott in the playoffs because he's a Cowboys quarterback. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's true, I think I heard that the Cowboys now have the longest active streak of the 4 professional leagues of making the playoffs to not make the conference title game.
They had the longest streak in the NFL of that.
But I think they have that in the whole, like, all 4 sports. Because, I mean, they keep getting in and then they keep losing. I mean, they're just bad. They've, like, won 1 playoff game in the last, like, 20 years, and it was, like, a wild card game. I mean, Jimmy G almost sold the game at the end. He played, crap in the fourth quarter. Eli Mitchell had a great game. Deebo Samuel had 72 yards rushing. And then he had 38 yards receiving. That's unbelievable. I mean,
we could talk about the stats, but we know what we want to talk
okay,
about.
so at the end of the game, the Cowboys, so as you don't know, got the ball back because Jimmy G was selling the game.
Yes.
And, I'm going to say this right now. I genuinely believe this. You can never blame any bad play solely on the head coach or offensive coordinator. That's why I think that Super Bowl 51, all the blame should go mainly to Matt Ryan, not Kyle Shanahan. If you are the quarterback, the signal caller, the team leader, it is your job to say, Coach, that's a dumb play call. I'm doing this. Dak decided that doing a quarterback draw with less than 15 seconds left in the game when they are not even within 40 yards of the end zone was a good idea. That was, in the last at least 5 years, well, aside from whatever the Giants did in Week 18, the dumbest play call I have seen ever, aside from the Jake Fromm play.
QB sneak 3-9 from your own 4-yard line.
I mean, like, can you give me a reasoning why they did that? Like,
No, I can't.
You're at a position where you can already throw the Hail Mary. You can get 2 or 3 Hail Marys off from where they were. So, like, they did that play with the idea of, we'll get, like, 15 yards and do 1 shorter Hail Mary, which I just don't get.
So
And then he gave the ball to the center and not the ref. I mean, like, has he ever watched football? Has he played football? I thought he was a quarterback.
that's the part I didn't get. But so I was scrolling on Instagram. I saw that he was supposed to run for 11, 12 yards.
And he, like, ran for, like, 16.
He ran for like 16. So when he slid and then got back up to spike it, he put the ball down with the center, which you're not supposed to do. And so that extra time that he ran, and then the ref happened, there was just no chance.
Yeah, and then, I mean, Cowboys fans want to blame the refs for all the penalties they got, but it's like, if you get 14 penalties, a lot of them you probably deserved. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot, and then at the end of the game, they decided to shoot themselves in the head. Mike McCarthy should get fired. Kellen Moore becoming the head coach is a rumor people are saying. I could see it. It's better than getting Dan Quinn as your head coach, but at the same time, I don't know. And quick predictions for the divisional round. Bengals-Titans. I've got the Titans winning that game. I think their rushing attack is too much for the Bengals to handle, and I do not think the Bengals will win that game.
I think I got the Bengals.
Yeah.
I'm running the Bengals, man.
Bengals bandwagon. The Jamar Chase connection.
Yep.
The divisional round, Niners-Packers. You know what? I'm riding the Niners bandwagon. I love Jimmy G. I love how stupid it is that they're a good team. I'm going with the 49ers.
The Packers are my Super Bowl winner predictions.
Wow.
So
That's a bold claim saying that they get past the NFC title game.
I'm aware. I think that they finally do it.
I think they don't, but they don't exercise their demons in the title game because they won't make it. Because I'm just remembering 2 years ago when the Niners literally just said, hey, Raheem Mostert, you want to get 200 yards on this Packers defense that still has not gotten any better at defending the run.
Defending the run. Yeah.
And the fact that the Niners now have Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell both running, I just don't see it. And plus, Jimmy G knows that, if they make it to the Super Bowl, man, the Niners fan base is going to be pissed if they get rid of Jimmy G.
Yeah.
So he knows that if he wins these games, he legit can somehow stave off becoming the backup. Rams, Buccaneers, I want them to win. I think they're going to because the Buccaneers suffered a couple injuries on the offensive line. The Rams are going to win that game.
Yeah, I think I got the Rams. I know they already played them and they beat them, already this year, but I don't know.
The Buccaneers that let Tom Brady get sacked like 4 times against the Eagles' defensive line. And I know the Buccaneers, Tristan Wirfs got hurt. I think he came back, but he was still noticeably injured. It's just the Bucs are losing players left and right, and to go against the Rams now, remember the Rams beat them down by a ton. That was without OBJ and without Von Miller, and the Bucs with Antonio Brown and with Chris Godwin.
Yeah. You're
telling me that the Bucs are a better team now than the Rams are? Get out of here.
That's fair.
In the last game, the Bills-Chiefs. I picked this on my picker for ESPN. I don't even remember who I picked because I looked at this and I thought this was the closest game of all of them. I genuinely don't know who can win. I think the Bills can win, but I think the Chiefs are gonna win.
I think I agree with you. I would say the Bills definitely can win, but I do think the Chiefs are going to.
I think it's gonna be a rematch of the title game from 2 years ago, Titans-Chiefs. Just the Bills. It's just I still don't trust Josh Allen as a playoff quarterback. So even though he had that great offense drive or the whole offense, it's just. And no, it's not because he threw the ball to some unknown ghost behind him in the wild card game against the Texans a couple years ago. That's one of them. But then also it's he played like garbage against the Chiefs last year in the playoffs. When every other game it seems like you're just completely dudding in the playoffs. You can't win like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you realize that, the Bills had a decent rushing attack that game. But on average, the Bills' running game is literally the worst in the league.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. So I'm going with the Chiefs to win that game.
I'll pick the Chiefs.
All right. This has been Troy.
And Alex.
We're Two Dudes in Football. See you next week for the divisional round.